Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar, Stayntouch Product Enhancements, version 5.48 and 5.49, custom add-on posting, group custom rates by date, and more, presented by Stayntouch implementation consultant, Arbor Masadi. I'm your host, Erin Fisher, the content writer here at Stayntouch. Today's presentation will cover how you can get the most out of the Stayntouch PMS version 5.48 and 5.49 product release. In this webinar, we will explain how to configure custom rates by day or date for groups, demonstrate custom add-on posting, show how accompanying guest details are now displayed on the Housekeeping Room Details guest tab, demonstrate how to choose sort order for batch printed registration cards for arrivals and groups, explain updates to invoices for hotels using internal QR codes, illustrate budgets on charge codes and market codes for the calendar year, highlight the show filter added to the accounts receivable screen, explain how to exclude inactive users from the cashier drop-down menu, introduce the new Adyen e-commerce, Shift4, and Pegasus integrations, demonstrate data back office export enhancements, and show how to flag inclusive and exclusive tax for windsurfer rates. We will have a short Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Feel free to submit questions throughout the presentation, and we will answer them in the order they are received at the end. And that's all I have right now. Arbor, I'm going to hand the presentation over to you.
Thank you, Erin. Hello, everyone. Today I will showcase for you the new enhancements that are available in the PMS by starting with the custom rates for group. Now within Stayntouch, you can create custom group rates by day or date, meaning that the rate value can be different for each date that the group is going to stay in the property. By going into our groups, and after you have created the group, by going into room block details, the system is going to ask to add the room types and the rates for the group. After you have selected the room types for the group, and as well the rate that will apply, you can save the rates. After you have saved the rates, you will not be able to modify the rates anymore from the pop-up. However, we have introduced the new tab for room and rates, and by switching into rates, the system is going to prompt into the rates screen, where you will be able to modify the rates by individual date, by entering the new value into the rate field, and saving the changes, or in the same time, you can modify the rate by date range by entering the value on the first field, rate field, and then clicking on the arrow button. The system is going to ask until when the rate will be applicable. You can choose until the end of the stay of the group, or you can select a new date. By saving the changes, the system will copy the rate until the selected date. If you are using a configured rate instead of a custom rate, you will be always able to see the rate into the rate screen. However, you will not be able to modify the rate. The second enhancement relates to custom add-ons schedule posting. To use the custom add-ons functionality, firstly, it needs to be activated from Stayntouch admin. Once activated, you will be able then to create a custom add-on by selecting a post time of nightly and then selecting or deselecting which day of the week the add-on can post on. To create a new custom add-on posting, you will need to navigate into Settings, Rates, Add-on, Add New. After you have entered the detail for the add-on, By selecting the post type of nightly, you will see the days of the week for which the add-on is applicable. By default, all days of the week will be selected, meaning that the add-on can post on, not can, but will post on all days. By deselecting the sum of the days, the add-on on the deselected days is not going to post. Just to let you know that only the selected day can be customized when we are making a new reservation or in the stay card of the guest. As part of the custom add-on advanced add-on posting, you can as well configure or create an add-on that can post on the last night. And you can do so by selecting as a post type, post on the last night. The last night post type will post the charges the day before the departure of the guest. And I'll show you how it will look on the invoice or as well on the pro forma invoice. For this reservation, I have added an add-on. I have selected an add-on which posts on the last night. And by going into bill and charges, you can see that the add-on has been posted on the day before the departure of the guest. It means that it is posted as intended. During the creation or during the creation of a reservation or on the stay card of the guest, when a nightly add-on is selected, you will be able to customize the posting for that add-on. Here I'm entering in the stay card of the guest of a reservation. And by clicking on the add-on tab and clicking on selecting the add-on that I have choose, which is a nightly posting add-on, as you can see, the add-on is selected to be posted for all days that the guest is staying with us. However, you can customize it either by selecting a new date range for the add-on to be posted. In this case, I'm going to say I would like to post only from the 29th. As well, you can customize by selecting the active day on which the add-on will post. In this case, I would like to post only on Saturday and Monday, and I'm going to deselect the Sunday. If I click on the select all available days will be reselected. If I deselect all the days and I save the changes, the system is going to ask to remove the add-on. However, I will select the 2 days that I want the add-on to be posted, and I'm going to save it. Now, if I refresh the reservation, you will notice that already the guest to paid has changed. So the modification that we did on the add-ons is reflected already in the guest to pay. But as well, you will notice the modification in the deposit balance into package. As well, if we go to bill and charges, invoice, pro forma invoice, we will see that the add-on is charged only on Saturday and on Saturday and Monday, as I have selected them. You can customize the posting schedule for nightly add-ons as well for groups by going into our groups, manage group. I have already created a group and I have already selected a nightly add-on for this group. By clicking on the add-on, as you can see, the add-on is selected to be posted on all days for the duration of the group. Even in this case, you can customize the posting either by selecting the date range or just by selecting the days that you would like the add-on to be posted. If I save the changes and refresh the page, just let me refresh it. You will notice already that in potential revenue, the amount has already changed. And as well, if you go into account, balance detail, you will see as well that the projected add-on revenue has changed. The modification will apply as well on all reservations that are in the rooming list. So by going in the stay card of one of the guests, we will see that the add-on is posted only on Sunday, Thursday, and Tuesday. The next enhancement is related with our housekeeping module. Now, in the housekeeping room details, the accompanying guest details are going to be displayed as well. So by going in our menu, housekeeping, room status, and selecting one of the rooms, in the guest tab, we will see that both the primary guest and the accompanying guest details are visible. For both of them, the guest name and the guest avatar is showing. A new enhancement, we have introduced a new enhancement in regards of the printing registration card for arrivals and groups. Now you will be able to sort the registration card when you are printing them either by room number ascending, room number descending, last name ascending, or last name descending. So if we go to our arrivals and click on the print button, we will see the options on how we would like to print the registration card. By selecting the last name ascending and print the registration card, we will notice that the registration card will be printed in ascending order. By changing it to last name descending and print the registration card, we'll notice that the order will change as per intended. So we will have Jasmiller and then Larson. The same will apply to groups. So if we go to our groups, manage group, Stayntouch, rooming list, and then if we click on the print button, we will see the option that we can choose from. These are available, and if I go and select the last name ascending and print them all, you will see that the registration card are going to be printed in the ascending order. Edwards, and then Riddle, and so on. If I change it, the order will change as well. So here we have Winston, Wilson, and so on. Just to let you know that if you choose to sort by room type, either ascending or descending, if you choose to sort by room number, the reservation with no room number assigned will be printed either before or after the reservation with room number assigned. The same will apply for if you sort the reservation by last name, if the reservation, if on the reservation the name is not present, it will print either before or after the reservation with a name present in it. The next enhancement is related to internal QR codes, and for this I'll need to switch the property. When the internal QR code functionality is enabled for a property, the PMS will print a QR code with the hotel tax ID and the hotel VAT registration number. So if we make a payment, and then we create the invoice, we generate the invoice, we will notice that on the invoice itself, I have forgot to turn on the option. I will get back very soon. Okay. So if we make a payment, and then we generate the invoice, we will see on the invoice, it will be included as well the tax ID and the hotel VAT registration number. This will be included as well on the QR code. However, if the property doesn't want to print the hotel address detail on the invoice, they can do it by switching off show hotel address, and they can do it by navigating into settings, hotel and staff, stationery, invoice, guest invoice, and toggle on show hotel address. By saving the changes and we generate a new invoice, we will notice that the hotel address together with hotel tax ID and hotel VAT registration number will not appear along with the QR code. So we are making a reservation, and then we generate the invoice. And as you can see, just one moment. Okay. So as you can see, the hotel address and the hotel tax ID, the hotel VAT registration number are not showing anymore, and they will not be included as well in the QR code. Furthermore, when invoices are generated from financial account receivable, now they will include as well the AR invoice number and AR folio number. So by selecting an invoice and printing it, we will see that both AR invoice number and AR folio number are included into the invoice and as well into the QR code. The last enhancement regarding the internal QR code relates to the account void bills. So by going in our front desk accounts and entering in our accounts when we have a voided bill, now on the voided bill, the company or travel agent name and tax ID are going to be shown as well into the invoice, and they will be included as well into the QR code. So by selecting the voided bill and printing the invoice for a company, we now see that the company name and the tax number is presented on the invoice or voided invoice. And if we do the same for the travel agent, we will notice that the travel agent name and as well tax number is presented on the invoice and as well on the QR code. The next enhancement is the budget. In order to use this functionality, firstly, it needs to be activated in settings, financial settings. And here you will notice a new toggle called budget. If you turn it on, you will be able to start using the budget functionality. However, you can turn it off if you don't like to use the budget functionality. In addition, after you have activated the budget functionality, you will need to assign the permission financial budgets to the user roles that is going to be in charge for the budget. Going into permissions, selecting the user role, and then, as you can see, I have already added for the admin role the financial budget, but however, you can remove it or add it again. Once you have added the permission into the user role, by going into financial, you will notice a new menu item, which is the budget. By clicking it, it will prompt you into the budget section of the PMS. Here you will be able to see the budget for the previous year, current year, and the future 2 years. However, you will be able to update the budget only for current year and future dates. For previous year, you will not be able to update the budget. You can add the budget. Per month and per market segment or charge code, depending on how you would like to keep track of the revenue in your property. And by clicking on the budget field next to the market segment, you can enter the amount that is going to apply for that market segment. In this case, I'm going to say 2,500 or 500. 500. Apologize for this. I will need just to refresh. So, financial budget. Okay, here, as you see, we have entered the new amount. And I can do so for all the market segments for this month. As well, you can add the budget per multiple month and multiple market segment or charge codes. Here you will be able, by clicking in Add Budget, you will be able to select the month and as well the market codes. And you can enter the amount that will update on these market codes, market segments on the selected months. So here you have the possibility to save the revenue budget and save and add others if you would like to continue to add other budget. As you see, the budget has been updated. Once the budget are entered on a month-by-monthly basis, you will be able to view the budget per day by clicking on the month itself. And here you can as well modify the budget either by day, by putting the amount that you would like, or by by clicking on Add Budget. You can select the market segments, the date range, the dates that you would like to update, and as well the room revenue that you would like to enter. By clicking Save Budget, now you see that the revenue has been changed for the selected market segments and days that we selected. Furthermore, by clicking on the Show Night checkbox, you will be able as well to include projected nights for each market segment or char code. By clicking again on the budget field, here you will notice a new toggle, room nights, and by clicking on it, you can enter the room nights as per your needs. You can do so, you can update it even for the whole month and as well for multiple market segment. And now you see that the room night has been updated. The next enhancement is related with account receivable screen. By going into financial account receivable, now we have added a show filter. By default, all is selected, which means that all accounts that have an open or zero balance will be shown into the account receivable. However, by clicking on the drop-down menu, you will have the option to filter the accounts that are present into account receivable. By selecting zero balance only, the system is going to show only the accounts that have a zero balance. In the same time, by clicking on open balance only, the system is going to show only the accounts with an open balance. Another enhancement is the inactive cashier now can be excluded from the screen. So by going into front desk and cashier, by clicking on the drop-down menu, you will notice that only the active cashier are going to be shown. However, by clicking on the drop-down bar, you will notice a toggle inactive cashier. By selecting it and clicking again on the drop-down menu of the cashier, you will notice as well the inactive cashiers that are present for this property. The next topic regards to the new integration that the Stayntouch has now. I'm happy to announce that we are now integrated with two new payment providers. The first one is Agen e-commerce. This integration will support online transaction, card non-present transaction, and Moto transaction. And the second integration is with Shift4, and this integration will support in-store transaction, online transaction, card non-present transaction, and Moto transaction. A new enhancement that we have introduced regards our back office, and the program is Datev, the software is Datev. For Datev, we have added the possibility to exclude the Vienna tax from Datev export by going into settings, integration, back office, and selecting Datev. We have added the possibility to exclude the charge codes from the Vienna tax. So you can either just drag and drop, or you can select the charge code, and with the arrow, you can exclude it from the Vienna tax. As well, you can add them all by clicking the green arrow if you would need so. Another enhancement regarding Datev is the fact that now we can also export summarized revenue for charge codes by mapping them against a roll-up code. You can set up the roll-up code by activating Datev and going into roll-up code, and here you can enter the roll-up code. Once you have entered the roll-up code and save them, you can map them against the charge codes you want to summarize in the export. By going into mapping, add new, select charge code, and then here you will be able to select the charge codes and add the roll-up code and save it. This will produce one line in Datev back office export, which will summarize the revenue from all the charge codes that are mapped against the roll-up code. Another enhancement is regard Windsurfer. Windsurfer is a CRS. So now we have added the option to define if rates are sent inclusive or exclusive the VAT. So by going into central reservation system, Windsurfer, and scrolling down, now you will have the option to choose how to send or receive the rates into Windsurfer or PMS. So either you can choose amount before tax or amount after tax, and you can save the changes. The last enhancement that we have done, actually, it's a new integration that we are supporting now. It's the Pegasus CRS integration. Pegasus is a flexible CRS with connection to global GDSs, OTAs, meta search, and direct channels. This is a two-way integration, and it can be set up from integration, central reservation, and Pegasus. For more information regarding Pegasus, you can find them as well on our help desk.
All right, thank you, Arbor. So I'd like to turn over the floor for questions. Remember, you can submit questions through the question box in the middle of the control panel. I don't see any questions right now, so I'll give everyone a few seconds to enter those. All right, since there are no questions, I'd like to take to the floor to offer some final thoughts. Let me switch back to my screen. So in this webinar, we explained how to configure custom rates by day or date for groups, demonstrated custom add-on posting, showed how accompanying guest details are now displayed on the housekeeping room details guest tab, demonstrated how to choose sort order for batch printed registration cards for arrivals and groups, explained updates to invoices for hotels using internal QR codes, illustrated budgets on charge codes and market codes for the calendar year, highlighted the show filter added to the accounts receivable screen, explained how to exclude inactive cashiers from the cashier drop-down menu, introduced the new Adyen e-commerce, Shift4, and Pegasus integrations, demonstrated data back office export enhancements, and showed how to flag inclusive and exclusive tax for windsurfer rates. With this release, we also released our allowance functionality, which is currently in pilot. We'll soon be hosting a webinar providing in-depth insight into how this works, so keep an eye out for an invite regarding this webinar in the coming weeks. With that, I'd like to conclude our presentation. Thank you all for coming, and if you have any additional questions, feel free to email me at erin.fisher@stayntouch.com. Thanks again.